Hey, good evening, good afternoon, or whatever time you get a chance to look at the podcast. This is the 67 podcast in the community, which is much different from After Hours podcast. But this is the part of our podcast where we go in the community and target and identify people who can give us information about our community. It can help us, or they can at least tell us where to find help. And one of those people we have with us is Mr. Laney Harris. I call them city council people, but I was told that they would rename to
City director.
city
Director.
yeah, city directors. So I'm from the old school.
That's our official name, city director.
City directors. So I'm introducing our city director of Ward 2, Mr. Laney Harris. Yes. Now, we're going to jump right in. Now, Ward 2, kind of give us a demographics of where it starts, where it ends, you know.
Okay, right now, where is it at? It started from, I'm going to say, from South State Line on your east side, going down to Euclid Street, come to Euclid Street to 71, goes up 71 to Aller Street, or maybe Forest Street, then come down Forest Street to, what's that street? I think it's Mitchell, then go down Mitchell to Fairview, then go from Fairview all the way to Spring Street, then come up Spring Street, all the way back. Go all the way Spring Street to Genoa Road, then come up Genoa Road to Oak Street, then go all the way Oak Street to I guess maybe Washington Street, then go from Washington Street all the way to make a long story short, it's most of the College Hill area,
right,
and the most of the College Hill area, and a little bit on what is normally what they call the dump over there.
Right, that's where I came from. Right.
To make a long story short,
that's a large.
It's
a large area
there.
So,
but that's finna change now because we supposed to be redistricting, and which it should have been done almost sometime last year, and we just not getting around doing it. Which that can be another story within itself.
That's on my list. I did some research, so let's jump into that then.
Okay.
Since you brought it up. Now, the area that you just described, College Hill,
right,
all the way to Oak Street, that's like Smith Keys?
No, it stops at the railroad. It go down Oak Street.
It stops at the railroad.
You maybe say almost at the railroad track, but it kind of goes over to Washington Street. It follow railroad track, then go down to Washington Street.
So when you, down Forest Street, it stops at the dump is over the track.
I know, but it's only get one side over the dump, which is stopped at Washington Street. Then they go down Pinehurst Street.
Right.
Then on the other side of Pinehurst.
So let me get this right. You know, they play dominoes in the park.
Okay.
The name of that park is.
Yes.
I can't think off my hand, but it's right there by the railroad tracks.
Right.
Mount Grove.
Ernest William
okay.
Park.
It's the and Mount Grove. Not Mount Grove, but is that the church?
Park Avenue.
And I'm sorry, preacher. I am sorry for getting that wrong, but it's Park Avenue Church. The park right next to it. That's in your.
No. Yeah, the park on the left hand side, and that's William George Park. It's in there.
Okay.
But technically, Ernest William Park is not in my ward.
Wow.
And they just it is juryman. Say the
right.
least. Oh, it was juryman.
Everything you just
right
is predominantly black.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, my concern and the people who are listening, concern is the redistricting is coming.
Right.
How that is going to affect black people.
It is technically supposed to give the minority a choice to be able to represent, to elect a representative of their choice. Basically, Ward 2 and Ward 3 should be a majority minority ward.
Okay, before we move on, for those who are ignorant like myself,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna post a map while we talking.
Right.
So, so a map. Check out the map as we talking.
Mm-hmm.
What is Ward 3? Where is that located?
Ward 3 right now, if it goes from where is it located right now, it goes from from Washington Street, which is really one block north of me, and follow all the way Washington Street to Oak Street, then go all the way back over there to Rondo Road. Then
That's up there by Genoa.
Right, yes, Then it goes all the way up Rondo Road, all the way up to I think it's not Lion Ferry Road. I'm thinking
Terry.
Terry. That's the south part of that. He's Ward 1.
Okay, Ward 1.
He's
Ward 3 is
Hollybush.
Oh, he's my. He got some of the dump.
Yes, he got some of the dump.
So he's my. Okay, now that explains it.
But the way they trying to draw it
Right.
now, he wanted. Well, I ain't gonna say. Well, it depends on how it's driven. All that area gonna become Ward 2. But yet we understand what need to happen. You just can't put all the blacks in one ward.
That's unconstitutional. I'm going to say that up front. I have a Juris Doctorate.
Mm-hmm.
That is unconstitutional to do that.
And that's basically what they was trying or want to do. They want to put all the blacks in one ward, and they want to make Ward 3 less minority.
That is unconstitutional. And if that is happening, y'all haven't seen my legal skills, but I promise you, you will.
And then
I'm just going to let you know that right off the bat.
In itself, how you delay from rejoining the ward right before an election, that kind of tells you what your motivation was.
So let me get to the point then.
The 2020 censor.
The redistricting of the future.
Mm-hmm.
How would that impact African Americans, black folks?
They were not able to represent and have their voice in there and be able to elect a representative of their choice.
Because when you say that twice.
Well, if you put all the blacks in one ward, then they basically gonna being dumped in one ward. They is not have the ability to elect a representative of their choice. But if you make two wards that are majority minority, you may have two black persons on there and be able to bring up the issues that most concern them. And the reason why I'm saying that now, you kind of make me, one issue that came up right now is the tri-state. Oh, it's tri-state. Now,
Tri-state is in a predominantly white neighborhood.
No, it's in black neighborhood over there on Tri-State Iron and Metal Company.
Oh, you talking about the metal company?
Right,
On 9th Street.
On 9th Street.
That's a black neighborhood.
That's in black neighborhood. Now, you should ask the question, why was I contacted to be able to put that on the agenda before the planning commission, so the people over in Iron Mountain neighborhood can go and be before the planning commission and represent and voice their concern.
Yes.
See, it should have been Ward 3 representatives should have done that, but they didn't get the response from him, so they asked me to do that. So
Tri-State is in
Ward 3,
which is
a majority ward.
It's a black
ward, yeah,
right.
Black ward.
And Stephen Hollybush represent them. So you mentioned Tri-State.
Mm-hmm.
What does that has to do with the redistricting?
Well, it doesn't have a whole lot to do. It's just that if you redistricting and then you want somebody that when you be able to elect somebody to choice, you want somebody who you able to elect that's gonna represent your concerns.
Right, that's true.
So if you make that ward a more majority minority white ward, then
we talking Ward 3.
Ward 3.
Correct.
Then that means that I doesn't have to listen to your concern that much
as minorities.
As a minority.
Right.
And that's basically what would happen.
Well,
from my standpoint. Yeah.
Well, and this is not a racist thing.
Yeah, it's
no,
not.
no.
I'm not taking it as a racist.
No. Let me finish this thought. What I'm about to say is not a racist thing. It's a historic thing. Historically, when we redistrict
Right.
and produce a predominantly white ward, the minorities are never represented by any thought or any means in that ward. That's why it's unconstitutional to redistrict solely based on race.
Right. Right.
So my next question is the redistricting in the future. Again, you said that black people will have a choice. Are we talking about, we have a choice now. And in Ward 2, you're the choice. People love you there. But in Ward 3, don't they have a choice also?
They per se have a choice per se, but it was designed to get a minority on to represent the
Talking about the
board,
future.
the future and the present.
But let me step back again. I grew up in these areas.
Right, okay.
So Ward 3 is predominantly black.
Yes, yes, at the time. Well, technically,
Right now, currently, Ward 3 is predominantly black.
based on the
51, I say 51, 48.
if you look at I gonna say that, yes.
The demographics,
The demographics say
51, 48.
it's
Somewhere
a
off
slight-
in there.
yeah,
It's
okay.
close.
It's close.
So if black people are the majority, even by a slight,
Right.
and Steve Hollerbush won, I have to look at the numbers. I haven't looked at the numbers.
Right.
Because what I have found out in Texas County, a lot of people don't show up to the polls.
Yeah.
But white people do. And nothing against y'all.
Yeah.
You're doing what you're supposed to.
Right.
Being represented. That was the
Right.
Boston Tea Party about.
Hey, real quick though, what do you say about the people that we don't ever really see y'all posting about going to no posts?
Well, that's why we have the show. That's what we trying
I
to
just
correct.
feel like from a standpoint of the young community, and sorry to butt in, it's just not enough put out there for us to even see and when to know and how to do it. And
Well, see, the deal is, and you can address this. Since I've been back for the last 4 years, if you're not going to the website, the Texas County, Arkansas City Council, city manager websites and stuff, and we lazy, you won't get the information. And like when I went today to see what the agenda is, it is so general.
Yeah.
Especially with the redistricting, it just said redistricting classes. So I went back to some other agendas. It doesn't really talk about it, and even in the media, they're not really talking about it.
No.
What's the reason for that?
That I don't know. But I can say this, that every time up during the presidential election, I go and knock on doors in High Point, what's the other one? Union Village and Bramall Courts, and ask the people if they not registered to get them registered.
Well,
But
there's a lot of people here are not registered to vote.
yes.
So there's a lot of apathy in the politics of our city. So I have found out that there is a small group kind of running the city.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that.
I mean, we can't agree on that.
Yeah.
But no one can get mad if you're not participating.
Right.
Can we agree on that too?
Yes. Right.
Right. So going back to Ward 3, you have Steve Hollerbush is a white guy, and I met him. Cool guy.
Yeah.
He's not a Texas County native.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Right. So, but he has taken the time out to go into the community and do certain things. And if you call him, he does show up. Does things get done? That's another question. Right. I mean, that's an onion we have to dissect.
Right.
Right. Because do you have the resources? That's another question. But
Yeah, that's another.
right. So, but again, what I start out saying that Ward 3 is predominantly black, and not by a small margin. I will say that. So if black people came out as a whole, and based on the numbers, they can elect whomever they want.
Right. That's true. Yes.
So if Steve Hollabush is in there,
Right.
they had a choice. Can
Yeah.
we agree on that?
Yes. Right. Yes.
So I'm still trying to figure out what is the redistricting about, because if we're gonna do 2 and 3, then there has to be some other ones gonna be redistricted.
Well, yes, you're gonna redistrict the entire wards altogether, but see, based on the past census projects after the census was done, that Ward 2 got 525 less people than it had compared to the 2010 census. But the 2020 census, it stated that Ward 2 had 525 less people. So that means that a lot of people is not in ward people from compared to 2010. And then according to the data, all wards supposed to be equal in population. See, so that means that Ward 2, based on equal population, it's 525 people less, and that's not with counting. You got a jail system downtown that was added in the census process. So they counted 625 people that's downtown in the jail system, which when you draw your line, you got to exclude them out of there, so you got to take. So technically, Ward 2 had lost almost 1,000 person.
1,000 people. Since
1,000
it's a predominantly black ward,
Right.
we can safely say 1,000 black people. Okay. I mean,
well, I can't
you don't
say-
have to answer
I
that.
can't say that,
but
no.
we can make the deduction.
Yeah, okay, but you don't have. And then that gets to another issue with housing and all that.
Well, let's
Yeah.
address that. First statement before I addressed it. It seems that the redistricting is coming about because the population decreased.
Right,
So that is the explanation they're using to redistrict.
right, and based on state law, that if
Well-
after a censor, that if it's a population decrease, there's a certain percentage, then you got to redistrict and make all the wards in the population equal.
Right. So this is the question I have. And my concern is always this. After redistricting, how is going to affect the minorities?
Well,
Or the minorities in Ward 3 going to still be the predominant factor?
if I get to do what I think should be done during the process, if I get stand up and stand up in the past and continue to stand up and say, hey, no, you can't do that. You can't put draw the line where you're gonna put all the blacks in Ward 2. You need to put
That will be illegal.
yeah. And
So what about Ward 2? Is it still going to be a predominantly
yes, it's
after
still-
it? So we know Ward 2 will be
Right,
your,
it
your
will-
ward.
yeah.
But the one Hollabush is representing,
Mm-hmm.
there is some under the table discussion of drawing a line where it will be predominantly white, because blacks are just a small margin above whites in that district.
I ain't gonna say what is predominantly black or predominantly white, but if should I say predominantly white? But if you thin the margin then if you go back in how we involved with the election process,
Exactly.
that you still gonna have that, even though we may be a slight minority, but it depending on if you draw that line and you just add
Right.
on
We're the
just-
majority within the district,
Right.
District 3. So my concern is if we draw a line that makes us the minority in the ward in that district,
Right.
then wouldn't that be unconstitutional?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Because you trying to get the black a certain voice in the election
Well,
process.
again, if Ward 3 they draw the line where it affects and have an impact on the black vote, because if you draw a line that makes us a minority within the district, right now we're the majority in District
Right.
3. So if you draw the line, we become the minority in District 3. Wouldn't that be a prima facie case for unconstitutional gerrymander?
If you draw it, which way? If you draw it,
I say I don't know which way. that's you. You the city manager.
No, I'm just a city.
I mean,
the city director.
City director.
My goal
Excuse me.
is make it stay a majority minority
That's your goal.
ward.
So
Yeah.
my question
But
to
if
you
you
is,
turn it.
what about the
just
other
opposite,
city directors? Do they share the same view?
That I don't know.
Oh, I'm inviting y'all to come on and for your viewpoint before I give my conclusion.
That I don't know.
Okay, so let's go to this point then.
Mm-hmm.
You brought up something about housing,
Right.
not just in Texarkana, across the country.
Yeah.
There's rental. I'll put rental housing shortage.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same issue here in Texarkana, Arkansas. I don't know what's going on in Texas. I'm a hog, and nothing against Texas. They seem to have things better together over there. But over here in Arkansas, we have an issue with rental housing. We have I'm talking about a lot of dilapidated housing.
Right.
We have, from my experience, I came out of law school at D.C.
Okay.
and very active there.
Okay.
And was very active in Atlanta, Georgia, where we opened up a law firm there.
Right.
Cities reached out to the federal level HUD, and they brought programs in where people had an opportunity to become homeowners.
Right.
They had low to moderate income loans for those people, and they to get them in the programs to be eligible had a credit repair, nonprofit person come in with the organization do credit repair. So, and then I think they had been 5 years on the job, and then the HUD gave them the grant.
Right.
When those things was in place, they got a grant from HUD, and on the condition they had to be there 3 years.
Right. Okay.
Why are we not seeking those programs?
You got to be able to push up a management that's something they want to do.
Now, wait, let me. We our Constitution says we the people.
Right. But
So how does one person dictate to all of us what's good and what's bad?
I don't know. But we having
don't
an
know.
issue today about houses that's been dilapidated that we finna condemn. But we don't have no program that's in place to fix up these houses.
Oh,
And we doesn't have no program.
right. That's obvious. We don't have a program.
We don't have a program.
We don't have a program.
But that
But
could be remedied real quick.
Right. We can get a program
Right.
if the city wants one.
Right.
And I know that for a fact.
Right.
I'm very political savvy. I've been
We
involved in
can't get
politics
one.
for a long time.
We can get one just snap my finger. I was thinking today earlier and say, hey, won't we have a program that we have 7 to 9 members on there? Won't you get somebody from the Housing Authority? Won't you get somebody from Habitat for Humanity? Won't you get somebody that one person that from the banking system there? Won't you get somebody from maybe Iron Mountain Center? Want somebody from maybe
But
Sand Flat Center and get 3 board
a
members.
committee.
Yeah, and then we meet together and look at and see what we need to do.
Well,
to
on
fix
there
that
you're gonna
house.
have to find a grant writer.
Okay, well, we supposed to be trying to hire a grant
Well,
writer.
I can recommend because we have a nonprofit, Four States Urban Development
Okay.
Project.
Right.
We have right now our focus. We take on different projects.
Okay.
It can be raising money for paint
Okay.
to paint a park bench,
Okay.
to building a dilapidated house. Right now, our focus has been on education because we have gotten grants. And right now, it's Donnie, the Washington School. He bought
right.
that. He has that program.
Okay.
And shout out to you, Donnie. I mean, I appreciate you for allowing us to come in and tutor the young out of our community.
Okay.
So we got a grant
Okay.
to do that, and we have actual teachers from the district who
Okay.
comes over, and they get paid because of the
Right.
grant.
Right.
And 2 hours, Monday through Friday, they are tutoring. But we had to go out and write the grant.
Okay.
First, go find the money,
Right.
then write the grant,
Right.
and meet the criteria.
Okay.
Now, as a municipality,
Right.
Texarkana shouldn't have that problem.
I know, and the reason why I'm saying that is last year I was given the information, which I say this first. I was invited to Phoenix, Arizona, and they're able to talk to 2 HUD people that approved the grants. And then there was a $1 million grant that the city could apply for to help fix up home that if you're 62 years or older.
What happened?
They said they didn't have nobody who can put in for the grant.
Tina Jones is the grant writer. She's the director of FSUD.
Okay.
And I do the editing part. We sit down and do it ourselves.
Okay.
But we have other people in the community who can do this stuff.
And
So this is the point I'm trying to make. I started out saying that there's a clique of people running our city, and it's not their fault,
Right.
Because it's the apathy,
Right.
However, this show is for getting this information out,
Right.
Because I didn't know that, and if you would say, "Hey, Mr. Jones or Philip, hey, we having a problem of finding someone with the expertise to write these grants,"
that's our biggest problem.
you're looking at them.
Okay. And thank you for letting me know. I think we
not-
can solve that
Right,
problem.
you're looking at me.
Okay.
I did this. I worked on Capitol Hill, Pentagon. My wife, I showed her how. She
Right.
can teach me now. 'Cause
Right, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the proof is in the pudding because
Okay.
we went and got 2 grants and about to get 2
Okay.
more. And we pouring them in the city of Texarkana. So
Okay.
all I'm saying is the expertise are here.
Okay.
They're here. So the next time you find something like that,
Yeah, I need to get your email because you gonna be hearing.
right. And you don't know. I
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, I
Yeah.
only came back to the city 4 years ago. I've been out there fighting wars,
Right.
trying to make sure we stay safe. So I'm back. I'm retired from that.
Okay.
Now I come home and I look at my community. I actually cry,
Right.
especially my mom on College Hill.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And shout out to Church on the Rock.
You're right.
The people in the congregation came together and built that house.
next door to
beautiful.
her. Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful.
Nice house.
So people are willing.
Right.
They just need to know the information.
Right.
Because in Texarkana, back in the day, we said Texarkana is a city twice as nice.
Right.
That's still a motto for me.
Yes.
There's some good people
Right.
here. We just need to be informed.
Yeah.
So as far as the housing is concerned, that's an easy fix. I mean, it's going to take some work. There's monies out there. We just need to get the right people sitting in the right seats.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So, and I do know when that committee come forward, I think we need to reach out to you and see.
It's not think, do it.
See if
I'm here.
someone
I'm here.
from y'all want to sit on that committee and meet together and
Right.
figure out the way to solve it.
There will be someone from our organization. to sit
Right.
on it.
Yeah.
See, the deal for me and my wife, we just need to be informed. I mean,
Right.
we're very busy.
Okay.
Because, at first we was trying to do it all.
Right. Yeah.
But we just narrowed it down to the Bible verse: the lack of knowledge, people will perish.
And so what I would do, every time I get notice of a grant, I'm just going to email that notice to y'all.
Thank you.
And that would help solve
Right.
lots of issues.
And with my legal background, we will maneuver
Right.
and we'll get it.
Right.
I'm not saying maybe.
Yeah.
We will, because Texas County is a municipality.
Right.
And they have all the bells and whistles to get those things. So hopefully in the future we'll be working together with Laney. I hope so. I'm praying. Okay. Switching subjects real quick. I heard rumor that y'all looking for another city manager.
Yes, we are.
That's not a rumor.
That's not a rumor.
Whew. So first, is it an acting city manager right now?
Yes, but he's finna leave. I think his last day, I thought maybe it was March the 1st, but I found out now March the 30th is his last day.
March 3rd.
March the 30th.
March 30th.
Uh-huh. So in the
Gone.
next month, he gone. So we would have to find a temporary city manager, and then we would have to find a city manager.
Okay. Now. What is the criteria?
The criteria, now that's really varied because I am going to say this is I'd have had about 4 or 5 city manager and all the criteria had differently changed.
Right. I looked into it, Laney. Some of them shouldn't have been there. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call any names.
Right,
I'm not here for that.
Right.
But I looked at the criteria. Then I looked at some of the people
Right.
previously there.
Right,
They should not have
Right,
been there.
right.
They didn't have.
Right.
They didn't. Oh my God.
And-
But we're not going to harp on that.
Okay.
what I want right now, what are you looking for out of city?
I would say that somebody based on state law, you got to live within the city. That's for one.
That's
That's the number one criteria.
Live
for what
within the
I'm
city.
seeing.
I agree with that.
City. You got to live in the city, and that's one of the criteria. And then you may want some type of. I'm not gonna.
What about education?
I would say the bachelor degree, maybe in some type of business administration.
And if they don't have that, can they show the experience?
I think you can show the experience to be just as good.
Oh no, let me ask you a question. Which one you rather take, the education or the experience?
I would have the experience every day.
I just had to put that out there.
Because sometimes you have all the education in the world, and if you ain't a people person, and you ain't able to know how to work with people, know how to do this,
right.
That's not going to really do you any good.
Yeah, because it is a public office.
It is a public, yeah.
Right. I, in my experience, I have 3 degrees.
Okay.
And
right now, from my understanding, the application out right now for someone locally to put in. But
right.
see, have you heard that anywhere else? No.
Wait a minute. The application is only for local?
Right now, that's what I was told. So they're trying to find out if somebody locally can fill the job.
I know somebody can fill the job.
Okay.
I really,
but see, did you know that prior to me mentioning that?
I did not.
See, I'm saying sometimes that's one of the best kept secret as to.
Right.
And that's how lots of things.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's a great thing when you want to hire from the grass that you're walking on.
Right.
Yeah, because those people know the terrain.
Right.
You know, and nothing against outsiders.
Right.
But there are some highly educated people here with the experience. Mm-hmm. I can call one. It's a she. Mm-hmm. I can call her out right now.
Okay.
But I want her to do something else. But
right.
But I heard that was a rumor too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now, before I call anybody's name out,
mm-hmm.
do you have anyone that you can say that has put in for the job?
I don't know who had put in for the job. Right now, I'd say call our HR person. I think her name is Rachel.
Is that public?
It's public, yes. It's public.
Well, then I found out publicly.
It's
then I have a name publicly who has applied.
Okay. Yeah. And anytime you put in for the job, your information that you put in for the job is public knowledge. It becomes public knowledge.
Are you aware Dr. Robin Hickerson? She's assistant superintendent.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She has put in for the job.
No, I haven't heard of that.
I'm advocating for her.
Okay, I haven't heard.
I mean, I don't know who else who's in there, but
right.
She has a resume.
Okay.
So, but I haven't seen nobody else.
I haven't either.
So there might be somebody better. I don't know, but I'm really interested in finding out.
Well, I just know right now they're supposed to be, and I don't know if that's been announced in the newspaper here locally.
No.
I don't know if it's been that. I think it was more or less I'm going to tell them this, but right now I guess it should be widely known. From
it's getting out there.
Yeah. And they supposed to do it for a month, if I'm not mistaken.
So when did it open?
I guess it opened after the last board meeting.
Okay, and it closes sometime in March.
I'm gonna say maybe until we find someone. We didn't put no date when it's gonna close.
Okay, well, the city manager position is open. And if you know someone, you can contact Mr.
Rachel, our HR, and at City Hall on the
her name is Rachel.
I can't think of her last name.
Well, if you're confused, just call Laney.
Yeah.
He'll guide you to the right person. Yeah. And that's why we have city directors.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If we don't know, we call them, and they will supposed to guide us in the right direction to get the information.
Right.
Now, Laney is in the past. He's not somebody you want to walk over. He's not going to be walked over, and that's why I appreciate him. Yeah. Wrong or right, he stands up. And I know the people in Ward 2 love you. I checked. Now, you can't please everybody.
Well, yeah, that's
right,
true.
Right, but
that's
the ones,
true,
you have some diehard fans because they feel that you speak up for them.
Yeah, I try to say that each time I go to the meeting, understand why I'm there. If you don't understand you ain't there for the people, then ain't no you showing up.
I agree. Well, that comes to a close. We're going to end it. Okay. I had a lot more questions, but what I'm going to do, can I reserve the right to bring you back some other?
Yes,
Right.
And I had a great time here.
Yeah, yes. So as always, final thoughts. In our community, we have to stand up for what's right. And we have to stand up and support the people who are defending what's right. Sitting at home complaining is not going to help the situation. Register to vote. Get out and vote so you can have a voice. Martin Luther King and those civil rights leaders did not die for you to write just to sit at home. I do not believe that at all. They died for the right for you to get out here and have that equal opportunity like the rest of everybody else. And that's starting with you voicing your opinion and voting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 6-7 Podcast in the community section. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
Appreciate everyone. Episode 2, Community Talk with Mr. Laney Harris, hosted by Therapy Jones. We out.